Hi, Heart Room friends. Nice to see you. This week for Writer's Workshop, we're going to be talking some more about fiction stories. Last week, we learned that fiction stories are make-believe. We come up with them out of our imagination. We come up with a character. We come up with a place. And then we have a problem that our character's having. And we have to save our character. We have to get our character out of their trouble and save them, come up with a solution to our story. Last week, you came up with your own character, and I gave you the place, which was what we're studying about in science, the sandy shore. And you had to come up with a problem for your character and a solution. This week, we're going to do the opposite. I'm going to give you the character, and the character you're going to use is the California sea otter. You can make your otter talk. You can make your otter a superhero. You can make anything you want happen to your otter. But your otter is going to be your character. But you get to put your otter in whatever setting you'd like and whatever problem you'd like your otter to have. I want to go ahead and share my screen with you and share with you the poster that we looked at last week about fiction writing. So let's go ahead and take a look at this poster about fiction writing. Remember to use your imagination. Fiction writing is an amazing time to use your imagination. So you get to be creative. You get to do anything you want in your story. You're going to think of a name for your character. Remember, this week your character is going to be the California sea otter. You can make yours a cartoon. You can make yours real. It's up to you. You're going to come up with a name for your sea otter. You're going to come up with a place that you want your sea otter to be. Maybe your sea otter is in the kelp forest where it lives, or maybe your sea otter is having trouble. Maybe it's been taken somewhere else, or maybe it's gone somewhere else. It's up to you. It's a fiction story. Then you're going to think of what trouble your character is going to get into. What trouble is your sea otter going to get into this week? Last week, we talked about telling the story across our fingers. First, identifying the character and saying where your character is, telling about the problem your character is having, and then saving your character, and then how your character is going to be saved. And at the end of the story, what's going on with your character. This week, I want to introduce you to something called coaching yourself or talking aloud to yourself about what comes next in your story. Sometimes writers get stuck and they're not sure what to write next. And one of the best ways to overcome that is to read what you wrote already and to talk aloud to yourself. Pretend like you're your own best friend and read your story again to yourself, whatever you've written. Maybe you've had 1 sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences. And then you get stuck. I want you to go back and read what you wrote to yourself. Read it out loud. Super important to read it out loud. And then talk to yourself about what comes next in the story. What do you want to have happen next? For example, if my story says, once upon a time, there was an otter in the kelp forest. The otter was tying up its young pup so that it could go down onto the ocean floor and gather up some food. But suddenly, a shark came, and the shark was swimming around, circling the baby and the mom. And then if I get stuck, I might have to go, what do I do? Well, I'll go back and read those sentences to myself. And then I'm going to talk aloud to myself. And I'm going to think literally out loud, what do I want to have happen? How do I want to solve this problem? I know. Maybe I'm going to have, maybe I'm going to have a whole bunch of otters come over and support my otter and its baby. Next in the story, I would say, suddenly, 50 otters arrived. The 50 otters gathered around the mother otter and her pup. They scared the shark away. So go ahead and feel free to talk aloud to yourself when you're trying to write your story, especially when you're trying to come up with a solution of how to save your character. Last thing you're going to do is write it all down. Can't wait to hear your stories. Let's go ahead and unshare the screen. There you go. So this Friday, we'll go ahead and share our fiction stories about our otters. We're also going to share our drawings or paintings about the otter in its natural habitat. Wait to see you then.